Bit of a fencing update for you here now. That's the post the other day that was pulling out the ground, or that did pull out. So, well, 3 days ago I came here yesterday, but I did some work with the excavator yesterday. I'll show you some pictures on my phone. I don't know how well you can see. I can't see the screen on the GoPro very well. This is straightened up now. Those are like guitar strings. And these ones here, you couldn't depend on just this to hold the post in place. I'd much prefer the 10-foot post. He's brought me some 10-foot posts now. But we're going to put them on the other fence going around the corner. I tighten the wire a bit, and then I just loosely put these staples in when I got a dip like this, in case these vertical strands hit the staple. So I pull a bit, then I might put another staple on the back side of them, but making sure that the wire stays at the same level, because if you pull that staple and put a staple there, the wire will walk up every time you pull and put another one next to it. So you try to put the staples as close to these as you can, pull, and then move it to the other side, and then pull, and then that like that. And then these bloody things, I put that one a bit too vertical. It's difficult not to sometimes. I try to put them all like that. That one's got 8 in it as well. You need to put one on each one when you got a up or down, because if you only put 4 in this, you'd have the 4 with the staples up and all the others would be sagging down, and it'll look strange. These windings aren't strong enough to hold the weight of the wire. They unwind and the netting gets wider. So just to show you the clamps in positions now. Well, that one's there, like that, tensioning, and this one, that thing. I haven't got one on the bottom. I've been pulling that one along with the bar because I've only got 3 monkey strainers. So I just pull the bottom one over there, and then I use not the monkey bar, the wire lever to pull them around. Just position the wire on the post like that, and then I'll put 2 in each one then, on each wire, the barb and the netting, after I finish. And then if this breaks ever, that post will be holding. Got the wire opened out from the bottom up to here, and since it's so wet in the middle, I'm going to put a clamp here and just clamp on the far end. I'm going to pull the wire in both directions. I'm actually walking on the wires and I'm not sinking in some of these patches. Not a good thing to do, but it's easier than walking in the mud all the time. So I'm going to straighten pull as much slack from the fence line out now by hand before I start tensioning with the clamp, the 2 winches. The more slack I take out, the less cable I need to tension the wire up. So there was a big dip in the field here. I don't know if you can hear across the wind. The hat on where the microphone is. Can't see now, so. Oh, anyway, can't hear. There was a big dip here, went down like that. All the way, it was like quite a bit of a dip, about 3 or 4 foot in the middle here, 3 foot, like that. So I buried all the trees that I dug out of the. That's why I'm not doing any tensioning in the middle here. Is too much sampling around in mud to tension the wire halfway on any of these posts. I put them all leaning like I do, like that. That one there is leaning a little bit the wrong way. It seemed out the machine like it was leaning in the right direction, but it would pull back to about there probably anyways. I don't think it'll move, it'll just stay. that angle, so it took a lot. There was a bit of a path going out here, went out, ditch went around like that, so the water used to run. Where that black stuff is, I've pulled it this way a bit. Used all the material from that little peninsula type thing to fill in here, and I dug the wall out off the other side as well to get enough material to fill on the top of these trees that I buried in the ridge here. So just run a jungle buster or a topper over this, and it'll trim all of these down, and it'll be nice grass here. Good enough on a piece of rented ground, otherwise the fence would have had to run up there and then drop down. Well, it would have dropped down about here and then gone like that, but with sharp angles and very soft slushy ground. That's why we've done it like that. So the post on the corner there, well, it's not a corner, it's just a curve, but that one there, that's another 10 footer, just because it's soft. Sorry for the music. This camera was popping on and off, so I put the music on in my pocket before waiting for this stupid camera to come back on. I haven't got much patience with this camera. Settings. I'm going to pull this now so we got the slack out of that cable, in case I need that much slack. Then we're going to tighten this one here and tighten the other one at the far end. And they clamped the netting in. So I'll tighten. I won't come more than about half the cable here now, so then I'll take half a cable on the bottom clamp, but I'll yeah, that's enough. Stand the thing up. The spike is already down there. I can open the top barb with me on the way back up then as well. I'll have all the wires then. So I'd taken the slack out. I'd taken the slack out of the netting up the top there, so I just located the netting on here now, so they won't move much. But so I put these ones closer to the bottom clamp with a knot close to the staple, so I can pull in that direction. On these last three, the fourth one got a staple in the middle, because it'll come this way a bit, but then it'll go the other way when I pull the other one as well. So the closer ones are getting a staple on that side, the one I just showed you, and the others at the top are getting them on the other side. I just check after taking the slack out that the strap is where I want it to be, and I want it to be just above the strut, okay, which puts more weight on the post while we're tensioning than there is on the post after you take the wire, after you put the wire on. The tension is higher up on the post with the strap than it is with the wire, so it's easier on the post. Life is easier after tensioning. That's a 7 footer there. I just cut the top of it, so that's all that was left. That's a full strainer post, so I'm not putting the wire on that one, just because I'm happy with how strong that post is in there. So I'm going to pull this until it's pretty blinking tight, and I'll finish tensioning up the top then. These little winches are very strong. They're rated for 2 ton, but I had other ones with the same size cable rated for 4 ton, and they're the same, so I don't know. They pull as much tension as you could put on the cable. And the result of the other day. I haven't got my spike with me now, so I'll have to go looking for it. So that's a bit of an extreme case of having the strap high. I came back and looked at it, I thought, why is it that high? I couldn't remember leaving it that high, but anyway, it was under tension already, so it's not a bad thing. The wire isn't too high for me to pull straight into position, so it's not a problem. It's better being the higher the better, really, just for putting more force on the post while you're tensioning. You know then that life only improves for the post from then on. Hasn't budged. It's pretty tight. I'll show you. I don't know how I'm showing you. It's quite tight. 7 foot in here with this first strainer post as well. I can't remember if I said the other day, I pulled back on it with the JS the other day and put that wire on there, so that's a full length 7 foot post as well. That's actually a 7-inch 7-footer, not just one of the 5 to 6 ones. We found this bridge here as well. It was buried in the mud. The dirt was up to about there, and it was all filled up with dirt, so he didn't know that there was a bridge there even. All pluses of improving bits of land. I bought 20 acres about 3 years ago, or we bought, and we didn't know it had land drains in it. I cleaned and tidied up the ditches around the outside and found 6-inch drains. We cleared them, found the joints and jetted up all of them, and they went from wet, boggy, rubbish fields to good fields, and we bought them thinking that there was work to do on them, so quite lucky there really. Just found the spike. Buried in there. Take the pliers with me as well, just so I got something to staple and tie the barbed wire onto the far strainer post. This should be pretty tight all the way now. As tight as I could get it. Well, not as tight as I could get it. Pretty tight at the top. I'll give them extra at the end. I'll tension the barb wires again, so the bottom barb will be nipped up now, and then the top barb, and then I just check all of them again as well, just to make sure that all of them are tight. So all the posts and everything have slackened and balanced out then to all 3 wires, and you get a good tight fence then, instead of having one. This one should be pretty tight now as well. Tighten both directions. Yeah, can't pull much more on there. Got the barbed wire put on there now, ready to open out, up and around. I merely locate the wire, I don't staple it tight, so the wire can find its happy place. I do the same with the knitting and the bottom barb, obviously. I merely put one staple in the netting when I do that, so I wind them around and tie them onto themselves, and then I only put 1 or 1.5 loops, and then I tighten a bit, and then I come back and just settle it so that the wires are tight on the post. So you get the wires coming around pretty much tight onto the post there, instead of having the wire out here. But this is one that I've tensioned onto, so it's got staples on, but it's the same process, just with 1 staple. There's no point putting more than 1 or 2 in it. I put 1 on the top, maybe 1 in the middle, 1 on the bottom after I finish, but sometimes I don't bother. If the fence is slackened enough for those wires to slide down the post, the fence is knackered anyway. Slightly neater knot here. You can see that one runs through that one. They're an odd looking knot. I haven't seen anyone tie wires like this, but that's how I do it. I quite like the fact that you can't find the joint. So So when I'm tensioning the top barb, instead of trying to tension it on the side of the netting and coming up and catching on the netting, I just chuck it over the back so the wire can slide up the stakes on the back then, instead of faffing around with the catching and the netting. It's a damn nuisance. I've got it all pretty much located here now, so I'll go back up to the top and tighten. But I got the bottom barb here with the monkey strainer still on it, so I'll give that a couple of pulls now, see if I can get it to walk a little bit, and then I'll tighten the bottom barb at the top until my teeth are all falling out, and then I can come back down and take this one off then. And I'll take this one over there then, where we put the barb, attach the barb to the strainer post, and I'll pull it the other way and do away with the knot that I did. So I'll tension the top barb up and down both ways as well. We'll have a nice tight barb wire. I forgot, because I haven't got struts in the middle, you can pull the barb wire, top barb, with off the post without a strut, but you need to walk backwards and forwards to the one with the strut and back, because the post will move a bit. It'll take quite a lot of force to move one of these posts. Like that 10 foot, so you could probably pull pretty good on it, but I prefer just to pull it both ways. As tightening this monkey and kept running out of chain, so what I do when I run out of chain, I just spin the barb wire, the slack, around the post twice and just throw the coil over. Then you can walk the monkey off and it'll just tighten. Take this midway monkey off now. Still under a little bit of tension, but half a link, not too bad. I like to pull the tension all the ways until there's a slack in the chain on the previous one, but it's quite a long pull. I've taken the slack out twice up and down now and tensioned the top one. So. Oh my god, come on. What's it? Still of that. You can see the post starting to pull over a little bit there now, but it won't pull over much. The weight of livestock will push it back. It's not on a very steep corners, just a slight curve. That one up there will be a bit worse maybe, but I'll put a tie down wire on that one if it's bad. I quite like to bloody lens is covered in shit. What happens when you're working knee deep in shit? Everything is covered in shit, including my Land Rover. I quite like to tension them, and if they do pull over, I just keep tensioning until they pulled over, as much as they'll pull, as long as the wires are tight. And I push these back then and put a tie down after tensioning, not before. The wire gets really tight then, especially on a pull like this where you got a few corners. It'll add a little bit of extra tension in the middle then. Even though we're pulling both ways, we might have a slightly slacker section in the middle somewhere. Not very likely, but you know, that's where we're starting that end, and the other end is where the JS is over there. Put this monkey on the top barb there and pull this top barb the other way now. So yeah, put the staple and overlapping to that needle there, so it's pulled over that much from the top. It's doing its job all the way from up there. So if you can tension here from where the JS is, you can tension to there from here, and yeah, it's going to be tight in that direction and that direction from this post, so it's tightening all the way. So here we go. I'd gotten this top barb as tight as it would go from the top, but I pulled it back down now and I got that much slack out of it. I was happy enough not to put the plain wire around the bottom, just since it's a 7 footer. See if this is slacker now. I don't think these The only slackening that's happening now is those posts are on those corners pulling. You can hear that thing banging now. Or the post itself wanting to split. I don't know. Anyway, these are all bloody tight now. The bottom barb is a little bit slack. Oh, it's not bad. But I'll tighten and staple the top. I'll staple the whole fence now all the way up. And I'll tension with a bar and staple it on. I'll bring one monkey down and I'll just tighten the bottom bar back this direction before I tie it on, and everything will be tight as a you fill in the blank. So not terribly far off finishing stapling this run now. Position some of these, just makes it easier to staple the ones in the middle then. So I already marked them. I use the mark as a guide when I'm pushing them in or hitting them in with a post driver, so, or the excavator, depends what I'm using. I haven't used the post driver for a while. I've been able to use the excavator. This loose stool, the excuse for a camera, keeps cutting out. It records for a few seconds. Might be on that bloody 15-second thing. So I put a staple, one in each one. I'll pull a little bit on them just to straighten them out, and hammer the staples so they're clamping the wire pretty good, because we need to get the wire straightened in this section from the post to the clamp. So you want to straighten the wire, take the slack out of it. But you can't do it one at a time. Well, we have to do it one at a time, but you can't tension them to max tension one at a time, because once you do the next one, the last one slackens off. So you have to do them one at a time like this, and clamp the staple in on like that. Just to, this is quite a good post for holding staples, so not hitting them in too tight. So I want friction between the staple and the wire to hold the wire, but I don't want it too tight that the wire won't pull through the staple. That's why I'm only using one for taking the slack out. So you saw that one went back a little bit. No, not a big deal, because it's holding a bit of the weight of the ones below here that are slacker than it. I go down all of them like that. That's how I do it. So now I can pull each one now. Again. Each one will pull through a little bit further now. This thing's getting a bit worn. Even the one without a staple, because of the straps there, I still give it a tug every time. It just helps straighten it out. And it straightens the vertical ones between the other wires as well, so they're all pulling through just a little bit. Tap, oh, clamping the wire good enough. I go down them like this until they're pretty tight, and so I've taken the slack out twice now. Give a staple one little tap. I'm not hitting them hard, and just clamping stage. Oh. I've done the barbed wires. I pulled these tight and put two staples around the corner like that, so I have to put one there, then one around the corner, which clamps them on. Putting one there and one there is no good, it'll slide through. So after I've pulled the wire through, taken the slack out twice, like you're just hopefully seeing if the camera recorded it. I can take this monkey off. It's not in my way now. Try and throw it where there's no mud. I'll take this down the bottom and put it on the bottom barb, just to pull the bottom barb the other way, since we've tightened them in the manner that we've done so. And I go along all of them with a staple just around the corner like this. Not tight, just over touching. If there's no room to, if you're not able to come around like this, it doesn't matter. Just, it doesn't matter if I was there. Just if I'm able to come around here a little bit to pull the wire in, I like to do so. It tightens the wire a little bit and it pulls it towards that direction, just to help with the tying and tying them off. So there you go. Pull that one pretty tight. So I'm quite lucky I can use both hands for the hammer. I don't have to stick to right or left hand. Oh, sometimes I can use both hands. Just give this one a pull anyway, even though it's not connected. It just helps to line the netting up, to straighten the verticals. Oh, I forgot to put another staple on this one. I like to do the one closer to the tool first, because the slack here, there's a lot less slack to take out when you hammer it in than the one around the corner there. So if that one was there, pulling that in there, it's got a lot of place to pull the wire. If I'm doing it here, it's only got a tiny area. That section gets extremely tight then. That's right. To do the one close to the tool first, even though I didn't then. The one closer to the tool was already in. But to watch it, don't pull too hard with the tools, you'll break the wire. Come back. Go away. Bends all of them, hitting the tool off. And bend this one from the top down. Find it the easiest method of winding the barbed wire tidily. And the pliers are gonna keep it on now like that, I'll slip the knot off. Go. So do them bloody lot like that. Bring the... Ah, my foot's stuck in the bloody shit now. So get this around, get a rough measurement of how much wire I need. So there. And just check that the wire is straight with the post. Like sometimes you can have the wire a bit like that, and you measure the top one and then you haven't got enough wire at the bottom then. So there. So that's meeting up flat. I usually see if it meets up flat with my hand like that, that point is where I cut them. I'll cut them just past, just in case. But cut them, they'll be good enough. Got a piece of thorn in my finger now. That's exactly where I put pressure to cut the wire. Tattoos. Tattoos here. Do it on it. I'll leave them there. And I cut these strands then that go past the strap. And the ones that are closest to the one that's covered by the strap. If the strap isn't in the way, I don't do that, but I can fold these down and staple them on the post afterwards. And get these around like that now. And the thingy, twist them on. I'll slide all of these up against the post so that in the way, they're a little bit in the way for tying the wire. I'm hitting them in that direction. If I hit them in the other direction, they can cause the staples to move and the wire will slide back. So I'm hitting them in the direction of the pull or the pressure on the staples. There's my little knot. I don't know if these are too short for me to grab with the tensioner tool now. Yeah. I'll use these instead. Been a little bit thick. I need the hammer. Just pull a bit of tension on them. Put these on here and I have to push the wire a little bit over. Like that when I do it, just to take as much slack every time out of this line to pull it. Try and get this running from as close to here, as well, centre of the post really, as possible. Beat them a bit. And so you got a bit more wire to wind. I can wind them up. Wind them up and some of them have to wind with the pliers. I've got a long one of these which is a nuisance. It's handy for the high tensile, but it's a nuisance for tying around these posts. And the bottom two gaps as well. I can now wind off the winch. These little winches are handy. I can just click that and you pull the other way, it walks, it pulls the clutch off. Clutch inside the barrel must be like a spring that grabs one way and releases the other. Oh, why does everything have to be a twat? So I put two staples right there on that one now. I'll cut that one just so I can straighten the strand to be tensioned out. Just whack the bar on that mother. What is it? The high tensile is much worse for braking than the mild steel. It's a bit rough. I'm in a bit of a rush, to be honest. I don't feel much like being here today. But it's what being self-employed is all about. And if you're farming, really, you don't have time off. Well, a little bit maybe. I haven't had a holiday in ages. About 6 weeks. since his last one.
I never go on holiday.
Isn't it, Dan? What are you saying? If you're watching this. The only one I bother showing you and make a shit job of. Anyway, that's reality. Well, like this. I don't think there's a septic tank running into this water. That's that. I'll do the same down the bottom and head on out of here. I won't record the bottom. I might just show it to grind the ends of these. The burrs are a bit big for the holes now. It's lasted quite a long time without doing that. It's just last few times I've gone like that. Might be hitting them a bit harder than I used to as well, I don't know. To put some material on the bridge here and stuff. We didn't know there was a bridge here, so we were going to go across there before, but can't go across there now. Come to here now and go across. So I'll just put another post here and run some wire to there. Job for another day, that is. Not today. I might come back here tomorrow actually and finish off instead of rushing to finish today. I might just do that as well while I'm here. Put the camera away and stuff now, I'll staple a stake and things. Don't need to see everything all the time. There she is. There's the old Andy, covered in shite. And grab the tools that I finished tying the things on. So that's how they're supposed to look when you don't break them. And cut that one so I could pull it around because the strap was under that one there, and that one there's just folded in there. Yeah.